Yes, this is the Rastafari Samurai. Never leaving you dry in your eye. I approve this message nationwide scene. We are here at Down to Earth Podcast with my brother Shawn Myrie. We have a special guest coming on here. He has a podcast as well called Zed Nights, right? And he goes by the name of Henry Murray.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's me, bro.
All right, you don't know.
You left it out. You left it out. Henry J. Murray.
J. Murray.
You don't need to throw the full.
Well, we don't need to throw the J, but we don't need to be technical. But anyways, welcome to Down to Earth Podcast, my brother. You done know.
Season 6. Remember
Season
that.
6, and you are the one doing the premiere. This is our premiere for season 6. We still in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm on the spaceship too, right?
Boy, you're here. You enter the spaceship right here, brother. You don't know. You're here with some OGs of the culture here. We fans of the music. We make music and we do the podcast with a lot of artists here, man. But anyways, this is your time, brother. You know what I mean? Tell the people what you do, man.
Man, you guys are changing my life right now. This is this is really good, man. Yeah, man, I do events, man, for the most part. I mean, like I do podcasts too, but my main thing is that, like, just putting on artists in the city. And you guys are coming through. You're gonna be. I see you already got the 6Z mic flag there.
Boy, I'm prepared.
You guys are different, man. So like January 19th, we got another show. But I mean, I've been doing this for like 3-4 years in the city, and it just started like on some rock band shit because the venues. They like rock bands, you know what I'm saying?
I know that. No, I know.
Yeah.
In fact, to be honest, I told my brother this from long time.
Yeah, I know.
We're more of a rock city, straight up. You know what I mean?
But I see what he's saying. Keep going. I know what he's saying.
Yeah, anyways, keep going, man.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's transforming.
Like, rap is kind of my favorite genre, though. So it's like I kind of just eventually started to, like, once the venues were cool with me because I was booking rock bands and stuff, I started putting on a lot more rap acts and stuff, and a lot of my friends just to begin with. And man, like, the thing is like rap is more of like a weed like audience, so like they're not buying as much booze, so the venues aren't super like, you know what I mean? But honestly, man, like, you just gotta put on sometimes regardless, and just find ways to make everybody happy. So yeah, that's kind of it.
But I think what he's saying there, what you're saying about the booze, they don't buy the booze. But now certain venues, if they cater to the cannabis, because that's changing now, it's going to be the same. It's going to be big.
Well, that's what big. I'm thinking, man. Like that's what I've been thinking is like, you could literally just like, buy like some pre-rolls like at a venue or some shit. Like, like maybe that's how we go with it. I mean.
Or outside, like if you have a up top, like, some people have a rooftop setting. Yeah. Where you could go to the roof.
There's one on college that's got a nice rooftop area too. Yeah, there's a lot of options, but
So what's your experience since it's like you said 3 years? That's about the same time we started doing this podcast. It's around COVID, the COVID you say era. So and it was hard because a lot of people was like, there's all these restrictions, how much people could be in a venue. How did you pull it off?
Man, I was the first guy when I was just constantly emailing Supermarket, which is the venue I work with, like, primarily, and I was just emailing them all the time, like around like heading into summer 2021, just like, yo, when is the next time that we can do a show? And so I ended up being the first guy to have a show, and it was like really successful. But that was kind of already, like, to be honest, like in terms of just managing that whole COVID thing, I think that like this became a thing. Like I wouldn't have a podcast now if it wasn't for COVID, So
you know what? Honestly, to be honest, that we were gonna do that before, but the COVID kind of helped. I would have to say with the podcast. What do you have to say, Shawn? You don't think so?
Like I was gonna always do a podcast. Like
no,
before I was thinking
the right timing.
The timing was perfect though, right?
Yeah.
But like I was saying, like I was listening and watching podcasts from like the Smoke Box with Be Real and Snoop Dogg's what is it called, GGN or whatever, TGN. And after then they had, like we said, Howard Stern and shit. So
he's the originator.
After you do, I'm just saying like this, every artist, right? because I'm an artist myself. If you're an artist and I'm an older guy, right down the line, all your experiences, it's an industry. It's called the music industry. So if you're not that person, for example, who makes it to a certain level, right, like platinum or getting a certain success, you're gonna learn the struggles you've been through, like how you see Joe Budden. I'm not saying he was not successful as, like, as a rapper, but he wasn't the top. But look, he has more money doing a podcast than most top rappers in the whole game.
Yeah.
He just used his knowledge to go through another door. So it's like, that's what I saw, like the attraction of, you could do other things with a podcast. It's basically like radio. You could promote anything. You could promote brands. You could connect with people like what we're doing right now with you. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I met so many people just through that, like just through podcasting, right? And like before then, my way of meeting people would be performing with them too, because I was an artist too. Still am, but like haven't made any music in years or whatever. But that was the only other way. Like I'd go like mic nights and shit, and I would meet people. But once COVID hit and like there was no other way to meet people, I just kind of would just message people, like same as like how we've made our connection. I would just straight up just do what I could to network and reach out.
But isn't it all how you talk to people too, how you connect with them? Like, because why I'm saying this, because even my brother has been asked this. Like, many people ask us, how do you get these guests? How do you do this? I go, how? I go, well, first thing of all, respect, and second thing of all, being a fan of the music, and third thing of all, kind of pay attention whoever you're trying to holler at. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not hard, but some people, they think it's hard. I guess it's different strokes, different folks, right?
Man, that's a good point. I think there's like this wall of like insecurity or whatever. Like people disassociate sometimes, and like literally just talking to any person seems like such a big task for a lot of people. But because it's so attached to like what I do, it's like second nature, I mean, like last night I was at a show just trying to, dap somebody up and just talk to them about what they're doing and what their event was. And yeah, it's just what you got to do. I mean, I don't know how you can not, if you're really pursuing this, I don't know how you can, I mean, you could still be a shy person, but I mean, this whole thing is based off connections and networking.
It's true. Facts.
Speaking of that, shy, do you feel that, I don't know, it depends on maybe who you're podcasting with or interviewing, that it's hard for them to talk about themselves? Like I always say, like, yo, what's so hard about bragging about yourself, man? Like, the easiest thing, knowing yourself, you're still learning,
Facts, yeah. Yeah, no, sometimes it is like, it's weird, like doing what you guys are doing right now. And like, it's cool to like talk to people that are also running a podcast, because I'm usually on the other side of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I did tell my brother, yo, I want to start talking to certain podcasters.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
It was almost 2 weeks ago. Yeah, like we talked to somebody from VA, Virginia, and he has a podcast.
I wasn't on that one.
No, he didn't, but I got to talk to him. He's from Virginia, and it's called the Off the World podcast, right? So I wanted to introduce myself with him with the pod, and I said, yo, I've been watching your pod, and you have artists from VA, so I was like, why don't we do something like an exchange program? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like peeps who you already pod with, I with from VA or whatever, and vice versa.
But for me, the podding does it, like for me with the artists, like respect to the artist. But now the definition of pod, I don't really find. I find another level, like I find more interest in other people like you who already know to do podding. You get, I mean, there's interviewing is completely different than podding. People,
because podding is like, okay, you're talking to more of a topic and all of that. Don't get me wrong. You get what I mean? But and me and him talk. We do talk off the topics and all of that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's
but
different type of podding.
We want to like twist it up, have guests sometimes and all of that,
There's different types. I'm just saying there's different types of
No, I see that
definitions.
for sure. I see that for sure. Like I have a podcast with my buddies where we just like talk about random shit, and it's usually just like a regular conversation that we just record type of deal, and it's like mostly just for our homies, and we shout out different artists in the city, and then they like follow us, and we make connections that way too. But then I got like another one that's just like straight up an interview series, and man, like Shawn, like you're completely right. Like it's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And like going back to another thing you guys just mentioned, it's like people, like artists I found, like do kind of love to talk about themselves. So interviewing is actually not that hard when you really kind of break it down.
Yeah.
And you kind of just go like, you could literally just say to an artist, I mean, it depends on who they are.
Yeah.
But most people, you just tell them, hey, like, tell me about your music. And they'll
In fact,
just go off.
that's what I try.
Yeah.
I try to get certain
I
artists.
do that. I make
Well,
them do
I
that
try
all
to
the
get-
time.
Well, I try to get artists who are doing pure consistency, because why? Because like I'm like, all right, you got a show, you got this video, you got like we got shit to talk about there. You know what I mean? Like, but when you don't got that much, it's like it's kind of hard for me to like talk with you. You know, like
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
That's a whole
But
other thing too, because their hunger might not be like there too, so it's less of a exciting,
Yeah.
too, where they really want to talk about like the craft and stuff as well. And yeah, no, like there have been tons of times where I've talked to artists and I just wanted them to come on because they're cool artists I just wanted to talk to. I thought we'd have an interesting conversation, but sometimes I forget. It's like they have nothing dropping right now, so it's like you gotta make sure that there is like a real purpose,
So
That's
sometimes, so you do agree. Sometimes you have to do just a little bit of research or something about.
Yeah, well, I mean, like in our case right now, like we're hyping up January 19th, so like there's like a real thing going on. But I think if you caught me like a month ago and I was just fucking buying Christmas presents and shit, that was all I was thinking about, like
Exactly.
I was just hanging out over the holidays. Like I could tell you about some show I was watching, but that's not really what, like, there's less of a purpose, a directed movement.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the shows, before we get to the 19th show, how was the last show? Who was on the last show?
That was crazy, man. Yeah, Space Jam was on the last show. He was the headliner for that one. Y'all should definitely tap in with him. He'd actually love to do this kind of show. He's got great energy, and I think he'd be great with you guys.
Okay.
And yeah, no, that was amazing, man. There was just a lot of like positive energy in the room, and like a lot of the artists that were on that bill like knew each other and had been homies for time. And so that was Rap Night 1, and that was in October. And yeah, it was a great show, man.
So
Y'all,
wait, who else was on the show? Who else was on the show?
So we had Space Jam. Like I don't know if you know any of these names, but
Name them. Just say it, man.
Yeah,
I'm still learning. Yo, listen here. As long as look, me and my brother know a lot of artists in this city, but we still are learning about more artists in this city.
That's
what I'm
huge.
saying?
That's huge. Well, that's the same for me. I mean, I just mentioned I was at a show last night, and I'm talking with you guys right now, who like I'm meeting y'all for the first time. Like we've had some sick text exchanges, but yeah, I'm always just meeting new people too. So you should definitely tap in with. On that show, we had Remsen, we had Sonny Adams, we had D1. D1 you guys like D1 a lot. Yeah, then we had, it was like a lot. There was like 9 different artists.
Is it up on your YouTube page or anything? Any highlights or anything?
I got some videos. Yeah, I think
I wanna like just I'm always like, don't get me wrong, I like
I'll send you
reels and shit.
I'll send you for sure. Like there's some guys if you want like some guests or some people you want to tap in with, or some people that'll be at the next show that you want to like.
Well, no, it's all about, besides the interviewing, it's all about networking. You know what I'm saying? So like you see me with this, and I bring that with me. You know what I mean?
So I wanted to ask him, what's Z Night? Z Nights.
Zed Night.
Zed Night
is like Zed Night is just a curated bash that you don't find anywhere else in the city. Like you don't have like somebody hosting that event and just going crazy. The kind of host I get to. You don't have like, sometimes it'll be like a crazy like be like a reggae band and then like rappers and then like a rock band and then like you know, that's kind of where it all originated from for me, was just making like doing just like random kind of parties where, you know, the shit, it sticks with you for a while. You're like, oh, that was a Zed night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the Zed comes from Generation Z. Originally it was kind of more that, but I mean, I work with artists of all ages too, so I mean, but yeah, that's kind of the origins of it. And we've done like 16 or 17 Zed nights now, so it's been.
Oh, that's good. That's
so,
good.
Yeah,
that's an accomplishment, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a real like community, and like shout out to everybody that pulls up to every show, and everybody that's been rocking with it from the jump. Yeah, it's been a while for sure.
So what do you want to see, like what you're doing with this, like in the future as time goes, like growing? What do you want to see for like what you're doing right now?
Yeah, my thing is like Zed Night is an experience that can happen in like any city, in any like, what it just means is unforgettable collage of different vibes. So it'll go from one kind of a thing to another kind of thing, you know? That's really why it is the Zed Night, is because Generation Z is like the generation that's been on the internet. So everybody's into like multiple genres. Like I got Tupac and Morgan Wallen there. Like, you know, I'm into like country and rap, you know? So it's like,
nothing wrong with that. You like music.
I just like good music, right? So it's like, and a lot of people are like-minded like that, and a lot of people want to enjoy good music from different genres on one night, you know, and that's not always the case, you know. So that's kind of where I'm at with them, and I want them to. I'm inspired by a lot of like event series that go on, where there'll be like a tour, like Zed Night is coming to Brooklyn, Zed Night is coming to LA, Zed Night is coming, you know, to London. You know, it's like
your brand. It's your brand.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. You know what? I said this to an artist at another interview before. He was asking me questions, and I said, "Yo, besides your music, you gotta brand yourself, man." And as you can see, I go like this: you gotta brand yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just showing by example. You know what I mean? Like that. And you're right. You know what I mean? Zed Night here, there. You know what I mean? Branding. And branding, if it takes even with putting merch or something on, you want people to always recognize that symbol.
Facts. You know that D is important there. I'm actually holding out for the Packers on Sunday, so that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
But you know, that Z merch is definitely popping as well. We've sold a lot of that too. So
okay,
good.
Really, congratulations, man.
Yeah, man.
In fact, I wouldn't mind. I have one to put back here too. We always be putting the merch up sometimes.
Yeah, what size, bro?
Cities there and all of that and everything.
What size?
Large, medium. It depends on what your you know, certain fit differently, right?
Okay, got you. Okay.
You know, so we're all about representing the representing. You can see right.
Stretch that fucker out, and then I'll
right now, you see my brother. He's wearing Toast to Toronto right now. Chill. Yeah. You know what I mean? Chill is one of our sponsors. The Canadian hip hop is legit. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Since we're talking about hip hop, who's some of your top 6? I'm gonna ask you your top 6 hip hop artists of all time.
Oh, I love it. Top 6. I love it.
Canadian hip hop is legit, as you can see.
Oh, that's sick, eh?
Yeah, he does vodka and he does merch. You know what I'm saying?
That's up.
Okay,
yeah, man.
Sure.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like lately, I've been listening to a lot of Jay-Z. Just on that like businessman CEO shit. I would put him in there for sure. Honestly, though, like Tupac is really big for me.
For me too. Definitely.
Got for 2 so far.
100%. He just had like so much meaning behind all of his stuff, and he always was like so emotional, you know, like always pulled you in. So he's up there for sure. Got to be Drake up there. I mean, like for me, so many like high school, like teenage experiences are filled with like the nostalgia of that is filled with like the soundtrack was whatever the newest like Drake song was or whatever.
Drake was your soundtrack. Okay, all right.
In the teens, you know, and I was a huge hater for a minute, but as I get older, like I kind of appreciate what he's done for like our city, because I just see so many people that leave our city and don't even put it on, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at with him, but Kanye is huge too. It's such basic, but these are the goats, you know. These are the legends for me. And then I'm gonna add just so I think that's like 4 there.
Is that 4? Yeah, Jay-Z. You had Tupac.
Drake,
you had Kanye.
Yeah.
Who else did you say again?
So I put it's all good. Kanye and Drake. So that's just 4.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from that, man, I gotta say, like, just my friends. I would say, you know what? I'm gonna put EM Lord on there because that dude brought me into the Toronto scene when I was like 19, and so I always got a lot of love for that guy. He's a local artist, and I gotta put him on my top 6, 100%. Especially because it's the top 6, you know.
Yeah.
And then the last one we could just do. Yeah, we could do good. Man, I like Joey Badass a lot. He's great.
That's a good one. He's good.
Yeah,
he's good for the like. He's bringing up the new, like lyrical generation. Like he's like right there. The new age. Whatever's out now, he's still relevant.
Yeah, he's
still relevant.
No, he's really good for sure. But yeah, those kind of came to mind. Pretty good list there, and then one Toronto homie there.
That's good.
So the 19th. Who's on the lineup for the 19th?
All right, man. Listen, so this lineup is pretty stacked. I can't even lie. Evo DeSaint, amazing artist with so much energy. Every live show he does, just knocks it down. Guy's just sweating at the end of his performances. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those. So he's gonna be killing it. You got Vinyl Merc, who's just every time he performs, people.
I know him.
You know him?
Yeah, I know him.
He's great, man.
He's great.
He's one of a kind.
I know. I've seen him perform before.
That's it. Yeah, no. Yeah. So you already know, like he's just different. He's very creative, very inventive, and people. He stays with people, like when they're done watching him perform.
He's humble.
Yeah, he's a good guy for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Then we got Jet Lease.
Jet Lease?
That's right.
Yes, I've heard of her.
Yeah, yes. She's great. Man, she's got really catchy songs and a really great presence on stage. She's putting it down in terms of like, had to be Rax up there with like another female artist.
And too. Rax, I definitely know Rax.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's why we connected, and she's great, man. She's one of the kindest and most dedicated artists that I've met out here for real. Then you got Sawan K, who's straight up a saxophone player. He does saxophone covers of rap songs and shit.
Okay.
And it's hard, man. It's actually dope. So that's gonna be a little something different. And it's gonna be really cool. So he's great. Then you got Space Jam, who was the headliner of Rap Night 1.
Okay.
You guys definitely gotta tap in with. He's just elevating, like he's just, I don't know, his community has snowballed and gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and everyone just feels like this guy is next up, and I agree with them. He's really just releasing shit that is so polished and so authentic and dope, and it's stuff that like it reminds me of shit I've heard before, but it's also like it's also so inventive, and his lyrics are just like great, man. Like just like his lyrics just really get you. And just an incredible performer. Hell of a good guy. And then we got Rax, man. Like,
Yeah. She's the
yeah.
headliner for this one. She
Yeah.
she was at the last show I seen her at where I was
Bring Your A Game.
Bring Your A Game. I was covering that, and I was doing some of the interviews there still, and she brought it there still. As always, she's always bringing it. And she was at the Soul Flower what was it? I think it was two. Yes. Soul Flower 2. She was there too.
Yeah.
And I was covering it there too as well, and she was busting it there as well. You know what I mean? Just
I think
putting
it's
the fire.
I think it's her time now. This is her time. Like
It's definitely her time.
This is the time. There's a race for all women artists right now, period. But like for like hip hop in Toronto, this is her time.
Absolutely.
That's what I see.
Definitely, man. Definitely, most definitely. And I will be there. We'll be there covering it, the event. You don't know. You know what I mean? What the hell's going on with my technical difficulty there?
Spaceships.
Yeah, man.
Talking about
so yo, wait.
Just killed the. It was too hard, man. It was too hard.
You don't know, for sure.
So yo, what's the name of your podcast? If I may
got a couple, man. I got one that I do every morning, like during the weekday at like 9 a.m. I do that every morning.
What is it on all digital platforms? Like, yo, tell the people where are the all digital platforms we could find your podcast.
It's live on Twitch, and then everywhere else it's like replayed. So like YouTube, Instagram, it's replayed on there.
Under the same name?
Nah, so the name. So listen, everybody's got to tap in terms of like music in the city every morning. It's called Morning, but the O is a 6.
Yeah, I see it. 6. I see it. Yeah, I seen that one.
Seen it? Okay. So like I do that every morning, and I just talk about the city with friends of mine and talk about creativity and music and art and all that stuff. And I'm also playing a lot of music from people around here that you might not have heard of yet. If you're another creative out here, you want to like connect with them. You know, these are like really my people, and some of them are people I haven't even met yet either. I'm just playing their stuff and I'm admiring them like from afar, and then later we make that connection, you know. So so that's just a great outlet for me. It's a great way to start my day, and I think it's a great way to start your day as well. Morning, the O is a 6. You know what I'm saying? And then the other one I do is Zed Talk. So I do that straight like through the Zed Nights page. It's really a way for me to do more like in-person interviews. I do them like on the TTC. I'll send you guys a little bit, but I do them on the TTC. So like I meet up with people at Bloor Young, and like we just go southbound until we get to St. George, and then we go east, and then we come back to Bloor Young, and by the time we do that whole loop, we finish a whole podcast right there. So I'll send you guys that one as well. So that's my in-person one. And then me and the homies we got Young Cast that we do. That's like I filmed that right here, like in my basement. And that one's just like a fun podcast with like artists and creatives just talking shit. And
that's what you have to do. You could keep creating. That's what I do too. I have a couple podcasts besides this one. There's the Myrie Jane podcast. It's a weed theme one, and have my name, like a personal one, more like a diary one. I mean, you could keep making. It's like a store, man.
Sick. Yeah, no, it's just about doing it. Like, you know, like I said, that morning one in particular, it's like it's just a good way to start off the day, man. Just creating something, you know. It's really just about doing it, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, man. So, yo, anything else you want to tell the people, like about the event? More any details?
Yeah, any more detail, but you know, for sure, for anybody to know.
Too, man. Like that's the main. I'm pushing that. Like, man, that's top of mind for me, and it should be top of mind for everybody, because, like you said, Shawn, like, you know, it is her time, you know, and this performance is going to be like off the charts. So that's a must attend for sure. And I think You know, I mean, I don't need to say too much. Like, I think that I'm literally just sharing the flyer and talking to people and going to as many people as I can. But I think that when you have a really good event, it speaks for itself, and you just got to push it as much as you can. And the people are going to come to something that, you know, when you have a good product, like it's there, you know, you just need to get it in people's faces, I guess.
That's for sure, man. Well, yo, man, I'll be pushing that flyer on my page there, on my wall. You don't know what's promoting it.
No, you guys are great, man. I'm really glad we made this connect. Like, this is
it's been a pleasure, for sure. And I'm gonna be seeing you the 19th, my brother. You don't know.
Man. This was a lot of fun. I'd love to come back on here as well.
Oh, yeah, man. All the time.
Sure, all the time, brother. For sure.
Yeah. As an analyst, we have some subjects.
Yeah, we're trying to have some analysts on this show still, man. Like, man. You know what I mean? Like, right now I'm trying to do a fix of sports version of this too, with 2 other guys. Like, you know what I mean? For Down to Earth. But
I mean, you know that I'm pretty experienced and like pretty natural, like, because I do interviews and podcasts. I do this every day. So
all right,
you know who to reach for. Yeah.
You don't know, man. But before we go, I always gotta say this, man. This is the Rastafari Samurai, never leaving you dry in your eye. I approve this message nationwide. Pop, 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 pop. It's been a pleasure, my brother. You done know, coming off of the spaceship here. You done know with my brother Shawn Myrie. Yeah, boy. Salute. See you the 19th. Don't be late. You done know, brother. We're signing out.